A controversy has erupted in Ghana. Now, during the inauguration ceremony of the West African country's new president, John Mahama, Burkina Faso's leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, has sparked concerns when he met his Ghanaian counterpart with a holstered pistol at his waist. Traoré was one of the 17 heads of state who were invited to attend Mahama's inauguration ceremony that was held in the capital city of Accra earlier this week.
Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the president of Burkina Faso, showed up in Ghana armed, and it spread like wildfire. People couldn't stop talking about it. It was a bold move, and it raised the question, why would a president need to carry a gun to an official event, especially one as significant as an inauguration? The story quickly captured global attention, but until now, no one knew the full reasoning behind his decision. Traoré has finally broken his silence, and the reason he gave is shocking. Here, we would like to take a moment and thank you for supporting us and being a valued part of our strong community. And if you are not yet a member, we encourage you to join us and help build an even stronger community together. Let's get started. When the president of a country decides to carry a firearm to a high-profile event, it's not just a casual decision, it's a statement. Captain Traoré finally revealed the shocking reason behind his move, and it makes you question the real nature of African politics today. The primary reason Traoré gave for being armed was simple but chilling: protection and preparedness. Traoré explained that as a leader in such a volatile political environment, he never takes any chances with his safety. He's deeply aware of the risks associated with being a political figure in Africa, especially in a country like Burkina Faso, which has experienced its fair share of instability, including coups and attempted assassinations. What was even more shocking was the revelation that he had received credible threats to his life before the event in Ghana. These threats weren't baseless rumors. They were backed by intelligence and specific warnings from both local and international sources. And let's talk about all the coup and assassination attempts on him for a second. Since Captain Traoré took power, his life has been under constant threat. It's not uncommon for leaders in politically unstable regions to face the risk of assassination, but for Traoré, this threat has been more direct and imminent than most. Sources close to the Burkina Faso government have confirmed that there have been at least 2 credible assassination attempts against Traoré since he assumed leadership in 2022, and many sources have claimed several assassination attempts. These attempts were allegedly planned by disgruntled factions within the military who were opposed to his leadership. One of the most alarming incidents occurred shortly after Traoré assumed power following the ousting of former President Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba. A faction of Damiba loyalists, still within the military, plotted to kill Traoré in what was described as a highly coordinated assassination attempt. Traoré's military background and keen awareness of the ever-present threat against him allowed him to thwart the attempt. The plan was foiled when Traoré, having received intelligence about the plot, took swift action to secure his location and personnel. This incident only served to further embolden Traoré's resolve to ensure his security at all costs. Beyond these reported assassination plots, credible sources are claiming that multiple foreign intelligence agencies have also kept a watchful eye on Traoré due to concerns over his anti-Western stance and his growing influence in West Africa. As Traoré continues to push back against foreign interference in African politics, his opponents are likely to view him as an increasingly dangerous leader to the established order, escalating the likelihood of assassination attempts and other covert operations to neutralize him. While assassination attempts are always a risk for leaders in Africa, coup attempts have been even more prevalent in Traoré's case. The political climate in Burkina Faso is deeply entrenched in military coups, and Traoré's rise to power through a coup has put him directly in the line of fire for those seeking to take control. His regime is constantly challenged by factions within the military that are either loyal to former leaders or dissatisfied with his rule. Shortly after taking power, Traoré faced several coup attempts from within the ranks of his military. These coup plots were orchestrated by factions that either wanted to restore the previous government or believed that Traoré was not the right figure to lead the country. For example, one coup plot was discovered and prevented in late 2022 when intelligence officers alerted the government to a scheme being orchestrated by mid-level officers within the military. These officers, disgruntled by the perceived instability of the new regime, planned to overthrow Traoré's government and install a more sympathetic figure. Fortunately, Traoré's military background and intelligence network provided him with the tools necessary to uncover and eliminate the threat before it could be carried out. This was not the first nor the last time that Traoré would be faced with a coup attempt. In 2023, another plot was uncovered that involved several high-ranking military officials. Their goal was to topple the government and restore the old regime. But once again, Traoré's quick thinking and military prowess ensured that the conspiracy was dismantled. The very nature of his rise to power, coming to prominence through military coups, means that his leadership will always be under suspicion and threat from those who feel they should hold power in his place. The atmosphere in Burkina Faso remains highly charged, with multiple factions vying for control of the country. For Traoré, every move he makes is under scrutiny, and the military and political landscape remains fragmented. Here's a reminder to please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Black culture, history, civilization, and identity. Let's continue now. So, carrying the gun wasn't just a precautionary measure, it was a necessity. Traoré is well versed in the dangers of African politics, and his military background has made him acutely aware of how fragile power can be. During his time in the military, he witnessed firsthand how leaders could be overthrown, betrayed, and even killed. The tragic story of Thomas Sankara, a revolutionary leader who was betrayed and assassinated in a coup, looms large in Traoré's mind. Sankara's betrayal serves as a constant reminder of the perils that come with holding power in a region where coups are not uncommon. Adding to this was the unsettling fact that there had been an ongoing coup attempt against Traoré's government. This attempt didn't just threaten his leadership, it threatened his life. His decision to be armed wasn't about arrogance, it was about survival. The gun wasn't a symbol of power, it was a symbol of vulnerability, a tool for personal safety in a world where political figures often find themselves in the crosshairs of both internal and external enemies. It's clear now that this was no ordinary event for Traoré. It was a matter of life and death. The situation surrounding his appearance in Ghana was far more serious than anyone initially understood. But, now that we know the reason behind Traoré's decision to show up armed, we need to ask, does it make sense with his background? To understand why Traoré felt the need to carry a gun, it's essential to consider his military training and the context in which he governs. Traoré's decision to carry a gun wasn't an isolated act. It was a reflection of his leadership style, which has been deeply shaped by his military career. He knows better than most that in African politics, personal safety can often be intertwined with political survival. For someone like Traoré, who came into power in the wake of a volatile coup, and amidst a fractured political landscape, staying prepared isn't a choice, it's a matter of survival. His military training has taught him to always expect the unexpected. Situations can turn violent in an instant, and the political environment in Burkina Faso, and many parts of Africa, is unpredictable and dangerous. Traoré's military background, which includes combat experience and intelligence gathering, made him especially aware of the risks involved. This is why he takes every threat seriously. His leadership is shaped by a philosophy that trusts no one, not even the people closest to him. Consider the internal political rivalries that often plague African governments. The threat of betrayal is a constant shadow. Even when things seem stable on the surface, there's always the lurking potential of betrayal from within. In such an environment, it's not enough to have a bodyguard. You need to be your first line of defense. His decision to carry a gun wasn't just practical. It was a reflection of his mindset as a leader in a hostile political landscape. This mindset is also deeply rooted in Africa's turbulent history, where many leaders who have risen to power through coups have had to constantly protect themselves from factions, both external and internal. Burkina Faso is no exception. As the country continues to struggle with insurgencies, political unrest, and insurgent threats, Traoré's move to carry a gun becomes a statement about the need for extreme vigilance in an era of uncertainty. But what about the global stage? How does this decision impact his standing on the international front? This is where things get interesting. While it's clear that his decision was driven by personal and national security concerns, its global implications have been far-reaching. First, there's the issue of how foreign governments and international leaders perceive Traoré. Western governments, for instance, may view his armed stance as a sign of instability. In the eyes of many Western diplomats and political analysts, an African leader carrying a gun to an event is a red flag. It raises questions about the political situation in his country, the safety of foreign nationals, and the future of diplomatic relations. Traoré's actions have likely fueled skepticism among international powers, especially those with vested interests in Africa's political stability. However, there's also a flip side to this. For African leaders and countries who have long struggled with external interference, Traoré's armed stance might be seen as an act of defiance, a statement that he will not be intimidated by foreign powers. This bold decision could signal to other African nations that they don't have to bow to external pressure or allow foreign powers to dictate their politics. It could even inspire a new wave of self-determination across the continent, where leaders take control of their security, refuse to be undermined, and show the world that African nations are capable of standing on their own. The global reaction to Traoré's gun-wielding appearance will likely be mixed. For some, it's a symbol of instability. For others, it's a sign of strength and autonomy. As Africa grapples with issues of governance, foreign interference, and self-determination, Traoré's actions may catalyze change, pushing more African leaders to reconsider their approach to both internal and external threats. The international community's reaction could very well shape the future of African diplomacy. Now, with all of this in mind, how will this affect the relationship between Burkina Faso and Ghana? Ghana has long been seen as a pillar of stability in West Africa. As a model of democracy, peace, and economic growth, Ghana has been a respected partner not only within the region, but also on the global stage. So, when Traoré arrived in Ghana carrying a firearm, it naturally raised eyebrows, especially considering that the presence of weapons in diplomatic spaces is highly unusual and politically charged. At first glance, it might be easy to assume that this could be perceived as an act of disrespect. Ghana's leadership prides itself on diplomacy, regional stability, and its relatively calm political environment. President John Mahama has been celebrated as a stabilizing force. For him, the sight of another African leader arriving armed could be unsettling. Was this an implied criticism of Ghana's security, or an indication that Traoré was questioning Ghana's hospitality and safety? However, Ghana's leaders are no strangers to the realities of political instability. Ghana's history of political struggles, including a military coup in 1979 that ousted former President Flight Lieutenant Jerry Rawlings, has made them understand the complex landscape that leaders like Traoré must navigate. They know that in parts of Africa, security is never a given, even in peaceful settings. Ghana itself has been on the receiving end of regional instability, especially with the Sahel region becoming increasingly volatile. Countries in the region, like Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, have faced insurgencies, coups, and economic turmoil that put their leaders and populations on high alert. Therefore, Ghana might see Traoré's decision to be armed as a pragmatic move rather than an act of disrespect, an acknowledgement of the harsh realities that come with leadership in this part of the world. Yet, there's a fine line between pragmatism and perceived distrust. Was the gun just a personal safeguard for Traoré, or was it a message? The decision to show up armed could be interpreted as a symbol of fear. Fear not just from external threats, but also from potential betrayal or instability within the political sphere. For an African leader to carry a weapon to an event, especially one in a neighboring country, could be seen as a statement of isolation. It suggests that Traoré may not feel safe even within the diplomatic corridors of fellow African leaders, which is a serious diplomatic signal. Could it be a sign that he doesn't trust Ghana's security arrangements, or that he believes even his African counterparts are not immune to the tensions brewing within the region? There's also the issue of regional solidarity. Ghana and Burkina Faso have long enjoyed close political and economic ties. Both countries share historical ties, and in many ways they have worked together to address common challenges in the Sahel region, including tackling insurgency and addressing economic instability. However, these ties could now face a potential strain. If Ghana perceives Traoré's actions as signaling a deeper issue of political instability within Burkina Faso, it could cause concern about the future of regional cooperation. On the other hand, Ghana's government might also interpret Traoré's decision in a different light, as a symbol of his resolve and commitment to his nation's security. After all, in Africa, power is often respected, and Traoré's decision to stand firm in the face of adversity might be viewed as a sign of strength rather than insecurity. Power dynamics in Africa often hinge on the perception of a leader's ability to withstand external pressures and internal threats. Traoré's armed appearance might send a message that he's not only fighting for his survival, but also making it clear that he's willing to take any necessary action to preserve his nation's stability and sovereignty. This type of bold leadership can resonate positively with other African countries, particularly those that have experienced instability or have dealt with external pressures. Ghana, while known for its diplomatic approach, might recognize Traoré's stance as a sign of leadership confidence, one that shows he is not willing to back down from his beliefs. Ghana might admire his resilience, interpreting his armed appearance as a statement of defiance against forces, both foreign and domestic, that seek to weaken him. This could lead to a new phase of diplomatic collaboration between the two countries. Ghana could view this as an opportunity to strengthen ties, not only for political reasons, but also for security. The Sahel region faces growing security challenges due to the increasing presence of insurgent groups who have exploited instability in countries like Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. Ghana, with its relative peace, could become an even more important partner for Traoré in terms of intelligence sharing, counterinsurgency efforts, and border security. Additionally, Ghana's democratic values could find a kindred spirit in Burkina Faso's desire to forge a more independent path. If Traoré's actions are interpreted as part of his broader vision for regional self-determination, Ghana may feel a shared interest in supporting his quest for stability on his terms. Both countries have the potential to form a strategic alliance that focuses on not just security cooperation but also shared economic growth. A Burkina Faso-Ghana partnership could lead to joint efforts to address the region's security challenges, while bolstering both countries' positions in African politics. So, Captain Traoré's decision to show up armed wasn't just about personal protection. It was a calculated move with both immediate and far-reaching implications. It tells us that in Africa, leadership is not just about governing. It's about survival in a dangerous, often unpredictable environment. Traoré's decision to carry a weapon wasn't just a statement about his readiness. It was a stark reminder of the risks that African leaders face daily. Do you think this will cause any issues for future partnerships, should it become a big deal? Let us know in the comment section what you think of Traoré's action. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If so, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We have decided to bring videos on something nobody talks about: the Black culture, civilization, history, and evidence about how glorious Blacks have been. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.